The New York Rangers are making moves as they made a surprising call-up and a subsequent move as a result. We also have a major update to get to as it pertains to one defenseman in particular, and it gives us some insight into what we will hear later this week in Locker Cleanout Day. And there is going to be some fireworks that day. We're going to break it down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 68% of you are not subscribed to the channel. We've had an influx of new viewers the last little while, and 68% of you are not subscribed to the channel. And shout out to the 33% of you who are subscribed to the channel. Your support has been unbelievable all season in a very tough season to get through for the Rangers, but it is free. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. But lots to get to today as it pertains to the New York Rangers and what we might hear later this week, but also some updates for today's game, which they still got 2 games left before the season mercifully comes to an end, because it's been a tough one. But let's jump right into it. There has been a question for a long time, and it's finally been answered. Who is going to replace Sam Rosen when he eventually retires after the next 2 games? And the answer, well, it is Kenny Albert, and I think this is a great choice. Kenny Albert is a great play-by-play announcer, and this is from Molly Walker. It was announced just this morning that this is the case, and it will be Kenny Albert next season taking over for Sam Rosen as the new voice of the New York Rangers. And Joe will also be on the broadcast still, so he's sticking around. He will be with Kenny Albert, so there will be a familiar flair to the broadcast still. And again, I think this is a great choice. I wish that the team would have given Sam Rosen a better send-off, but nonetheless, we are where we are now at this point in time, and we can enjoy Sam Rosen for the next 2 games, and we can also enjoy a really good play-by-play voice taking over as we head into the future. So great choice there. Very happy with that. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But let's get into some stuff for today. This is from Colin Stevenson. He said that he just landed in Florida, and the word is Braden Schneider is being shut down for the season. The last 2 games because of an upper body injury he's been playing through. So a subsequent move was, or I guess the call-up happened first, and I guess the subsequent move was shutting down Braden Schneider. But the update is Matthew Robertson has been recalled from the Hartford Wolfpack and will play tonight against the Florida Panthers. Or that is what they're saying. It could change. We know Peter Laviolette loves to make things as complicated as possible. So, and that's something we'll touch on in this video as well. But Matthew Robertson has been recalled, and Braden Schneider, again, he's been playing through. I understand that the Rangers mathematically until Saturday could have made the playoffs still. But if Schneider, I mean, going back a week and a half ago, you know that the Rangers are not making the playoffs. You're not going to win out. So if you're the organization, shut that guy down. If he's playing through something that he can make worse and could prolong his recovery time heading into next season, shut the man down and let him recover. But nonetheless, that's happened now. It's an upper body injury that it has been confirmed, he was playing through. So when you think back to Saturday, that Jordan Staal goal, not a good goal, right? Not a good play by Braden Schneider. Clearly, he's been injured and playing through something. So I expect more out of Braden Schneider as he's shown the last little while, and this is an answer to that. And again, excuses, you can say all of that for sure, but he hasn't been playing great. And I've kind of been like, why isn't he playing great? Because I know he's better than this, although I know that the whole team has kind of just collapsed in on itself. But there you have a bit of an answer. He is dealing with an upper body injury. So shut down for the year. And Matthew Robertson will make his NHL debut tomorrow. Again, by all accounts, Peter Laviolette said that he is going to make his NHL debut. He'll be in the lineup. Anything can change. This is the plan, but I just don't know what to believe with Peter Laviolette anymore. Also, other interesting tidbit here for this game, Gabe Perreault back in the lineup. Brendan Othmann back in the lineup like they should have been the entire time. So as soon as the Rangers are mathematically eliminated, I guess Laviolette was doing his due diligence to see if this team can get into the playoffs with a bunch of guys in the lineup who don't care and don't want to be here. Or it seems like they don't want to be here. Or maybe they don't want him to be here. Gabe Perreault and Brendan Othmann will be back in the lineup tonight, which is a good thing. You need to get both of these guys, but more importantly, I think Gabe Perreault, some NHL experience, even if it's in garbage time, even if the games do not matter. Now, Peter Laviolette, obviously everything that's been happening the last little while, did speak out on his job security. And when asked yesterday, this was yesterday, during practice, they had a skate ahead of their game today against the Florida Panthers. everything gets looked at when a year is not good like this. I'm not blind to anything. I love being here with these guys and the New York Rangers. It's a year when everything went right to a year where things didn't go right. I would argue, Peter, and the quote continued, we'll get to it in a second. I would argue that clearly last year, everything did go right. Every single thing went right. The power play was lethal. The penalty kill was pretty good. Even your 5-on-5 play was pretty good. They were a good team. They won the President's Trophy, right? They were the best team in the entire league in the regular season, and they went 3 rounds deep in the playoffs. It was a season where everything went right. Although, at the end of this quote, he says, we've gone from that to a year where things didn't go right. It's not that things didn't go right this year. Everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. The Rangers power play is abysmal this season. It's bottom 5, in the entire NHL. Not only that, the penalty kill has not been that good, and their 5-on-5 play, they almost can't score, but it's the only time they score because they can't score on the power play. It's been absolutely horrendous. So everything has gone wrong this season. It's not that things haven't gone right. And Peter Laviolette went on to say that when things don't go right, I'm sure everything gets looked at. I'm not naive. And he said that he wants to be in New York, but I'm not sure New York wants him to stay in New York. And I'm not sure that the players on this team want him to stay in New York. There is something in the water with this team behind the scenes that we have not been seeing, although I think we've seen obviously that they're not happy with the way things have been handled. Certain players have been handled, with themselves have been handled by the coaching staff and maybe even the GM and president and Chris Drury. So we do know that that is a thing. I'm going to have another video breaking that down and everything that's kind of coming out about that as well. So stay tuned for that. But as it pertains to this, he did say that, everything's going to be looked at, and he knows that, and it is going to be looked at. And by all accounts, everything we've heard, Pierre LeBrun, a couple other insiders coming out last week, I think Frank Saravalli also had it. By all accounts, Friday of this week, Peter Laviolette will be fired. That's what it's sounding like. So we'll see if that ends up happening, if that's followed through upon. I'm sure they're going to do a review. I'm sure they're going to do exit interviews. I don't think it's actually going to be on Friday, but I think it's going to be next week or the week after. They're going to do their due diligence, have everyone do their exit interviews with the media and obviously within the organization, and they'll kind of go from there. And the last thing I wanted to touch on, also with Braden Schneider's injury, I wanted to touch on this before we wrapped up, and Brendan Othman very quickly. But with Schneider's injury, this obviously was a quote from yesterday, but with Schneider's injury, his season comes to an end. So to take a look at his season, his 23-year-old season, not bad, but also not the greatest. We know that he has more in the tank. He played 80 games this season. He's been playing through an injury. He's only going to miss 2 on the season, the last 2. He had 6 goals this year, 15 assists, 21 points, and he played an average of 18 minutes a night. I feel like he could have been played more. He was sheltered very heavily at the beginning of this season. I think he's going to take on a greater role as they move into the forward. This is a guy they didn't want to give up in the JT Miller trade. They think very highly of him, and I think that he's going to be a great player as we head into the future here. Last thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap up is from Vince Mercogliano and an article about a great many things. But one thing I picked out of this article specifically is something that, is mind-blowing with this coaching staff. I don't think this coaching staff likes players that make a difference or that are good. Because as you can see here, Brendan Othman was scratched, right? The last little while, the last couple games. I thought, while not scoring a goal and still looking for his first NHL goal, he's been playing well. But if you take a look at this, in his 6 games prior to back-to-back scratches, he led the team with a almost 75% expected goals for when on the ice, according to Natural Stat Trick. And with the Rangers outshooting their opponents, outscoring 7-1 while he was on the ice. His determination to get to the high danger areas has jumped out, leading to a handful of close calls for that elusive first goal. He's going to score his first goal soon. He already got his first point. He's been really good since being called up. A lot of people look at the stat sheet and everything like that. He's been fantastic. All advanced analytics and metrics suggest that he is going to be a great player. And for some reason, he was scratched. So, again, can't figure it out myself. You guys let me know in the comments if you can figure out what Peter Laviolette's plan is, because I have no idea what it is at this point, and I don't know if there's going to be a plan to be had after next week, essentially, because I do believe that he's going to get fired. But let me know in the comments what you think about everything discussed today. Obviously, Matthew Robertson making his NHL debut. You got a couple of the youngsters coming back into the lineup, and Brendan Othman and Gabe Perreault. Should be a interesting game to watch. Enjoy this game. If you don't want to watch, that's totally fine. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but enjoy the last 2 games of Sam Rosen as the voice of the New York Rangers. That's what I will ask fans to do the next few days. But let me know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.